Goodbye, Real Madrid. It's time to have some fun at the carnival.
Carlo Ancelotti's greatest trick is raising his left eyebrow at a 45-degree angle. Ancelotti's eyebrow has become a symbol of his managerial style, laid back, a bit indulgent, in the spirit of Jeffrey Lebowski. It's the complete opposite of the hyperactive super coaches who dream of tactical boards and third-man runs. Even when he's teetering on the edge of dismissal or losing 1-5 on aggregate, Carlo is likely not dreaming of tactical reshuffles. He's dreaming of cigars and opera, but he must know something because he just keeps going. Next stop, the Brazil national team. This quote from The Guardian journalist Rob Smith is perfect for today's video. Carlo Ancelotti's incredible journey and why it's a gift for the football world. So let's begin. The Carlo Ancelotti era at Real Madrid is officially over. Almost a year ago, Ancelotti was thrown into the air at Wembley, celebrating Real Madrid's 15th Champions League title. It was June 1st, 2024, and on May 26th, 2025, Carletto will officially take over as head coach of the Brazil national team. It's not the first time he leaves Real Madrid the season after winning the Champions League. The same thing happened in 2015, triumph in 2014, departure after the following season. This time though, the farewell will be far more dignified than it was the first time. This is not a sacking, this is a graceful goodbye, as Ancelotti leaves as the most decorated coach in Real Madrid's history. The road to Brazil was a strange one. A Champions League win, Kroos leaving, Nacho and Joselu transferring to Middle Eastern clubs, Mbappe and Endrick arriving, Lenny Yoro's failed transfer, and Florentino Perez's passivity in the January window. As early as last summer, Ancelotti was openly pointing to squad problems caused by the club's transfer policy, no proper replacement for Toni Kroos, no versatile defender like Nacho, and no proper finisher in attack. Let's not forget, Joselu scored 17 goals last season. Carvajal and Militão missed most of the season due to injury. Alaba never returned to his top level. Mbappe's arrival caused a disbalance not only in the team's play, but more importantly, in the triangle of Vinny, Bellingham, Rodrigo, which was the foundation of the 2023/24 triumph. All three saw a significant drop in output this season, while Kylian set a debut season record with 39 goals and 4 assists. Turns out Joan Laporta was right when he said Mbappe's transfer would destroy Madrid's locker room chemistry. What do we see now? Rodrigo might be the first victim, and according to Spanish media, he's already decided to leave this summer. Vinicius's future is also uncertain. He still hasn't renewed his contract, and it's clear that Ancelotti and his staff never managed to properly combine him with Mbappe on the pitch. Off the pitch, Kylian is already replacing Vini as the face of the club. A recent Diario AS poll with 14,000 respondents showed 53% blamed bad planning for a potentially failed season, 30% blamed the player, only 17% blamed the coach. This is the real assessment of the situation Florentino Perez put Ancelotti, and so he was left with one obvious next step: to coach Brazil. Ancelotti's move marks the end of a long courtship by Brazil, a story nearly 3 years in the making, ending with an official announcement on Monday. Don Carlo signed a contract running until the end of the next World Cup with a salary of over £8 million, making him the highest paid national team coach in the world. He'll begin work on May 26th, the day after La Liga ends, and his task, as big as his reputation, win the World Cup. Ednaldo Rodrigues, president of the Brazilian Football Confederation, CBF, said hiring Ancelotti is more than a strategic move. It's a signal to the world that we're determined to return to the top of world football. This union is highly symbolic. The CBF president added, Carlo Ancelotti will become the first foreign manager in the history of the Seleção. This historic moment brings together two icons, the only 5-time world champion and a coach with unique achievements in elite European foot epic, right? But Mr. Rodrigues was too quick to call him the first. The last foreigner to coach Brazil was Argentine Filpo Núñez in 1965. Before that were Portuguese coach Joreca and Uruguayan Ramon Platero. Before diving into Ancelotti's prospects with Brazil, we should mention how unorthodox the CBF's behavior was, announcing Carlo's appointment unilaterally before Real Madrid made their official statement. For some reason, the most successful national team in history decided to bulldoze through the most powerful club in the world. An interesting dynamic. But let's return to Carlo and his Brazilian reality. If anyone can win the 2026 World Cup with Brazil, it's Ancelotti, says respected ESPN journalist Gabriele Marcotti. He already has close relationships with Rodrigo, Eder Militão, Endrick, and especially Vinicius Jr., whose output quadrupled after Ancelotti's 2021 return to Madrid. Brazil has underwhelmed at recent tournaments. Since winning the World Cup in 2002, they've only reached one semi-final, which no one in Brazil wants to remember. The 1-7 humiliation by Germany at home in 2014. It's a period of failure, toxicity, and doubt. Even the two Copa America wins in 2007 and 2019 didn't change that. Hence this bold break with tradition, entrusting the country's immense legacy and potential to a foreign coach. Most of Brazil's 211 million citizens don't even remember their last World Cup win. It's time for change. For Ancelotti, this job is nearly a no-risk move. Expectations are not overwhelmingly high, and he's taking his trusted coaching staff with him. In fact, the Real Madrid coaching team is basically relocating to Brazil. Davide Ancelotti, Francesco Mauri, Mino Fulco, and Simone Montanaro are all joining him. Davide has received offers from clubs, but is expected to stay on at least for the June qualifiers. The CBF may add a Brazilian assistant. One candidate, Ricardo Kaká. Local journalists say he's already spoken with Carlo. A lovely Milan-era reunion, also expected to join. Paul Clement, Ancelotti's longtime assistant at Chelsea, PSG, Bayern, Everton, and during his first Real Madrid spell. The Brazilian public is thrilled with the appointment. They see Ancelotti as the perfect choice to rebuild a team in crisis. He enjoys full backing from major football figures: Cafu, Thiago Silva, Marcelo, Kaká, and most importantly, Vinicius, Rodrigo, and Militão. And after a year-long break, Casemiro is expected to return to the squad, Ancelotti's loyal warrior. According to reports, Carlo already spoke with his vision to have as many natural leaders on the pitch as possible. Ancelotti also hopes to revive Neymar, giving him the biggest career motivation of all, winning the World Cup together. Carlo has already had a conversation with Brazil's superstar. There's even talk of a Richarlison comeback, the forgotten striker with whom Ancelotti got the best performances during their time at Everton. Ancelotti once believed Richarlison had the potential to challenge for the Ballon d'Or. The Brazilian Federation values his ability to diffuse pressure, handle the media and fan expectations, and control star-studded dressing rooms. After all, he's done this for 6 years at the most scrutinized club in the world. Now he'll do it for the most scrutinized national team in the world. Ancelotti's philosophy is also a perfect fit for the Seleção, who currently look more like a group of individuals than a real team. At the top level, when you have the best players, the best thing is to let them express themselves, keep them happy and motivated. From Zlatan Ibrahimovic to Cristiano Ronaldo and Kylian Mbappe, Ancelotti is the gentle whisper behind the Galacticos. Ancelotti's success with Brazilian players was only one of the reasons why he became an attractive candidate for the CBF. For Ednaldo Rodriguez, he fit all the criteria. Ancelotti was a top midfielder with World Cup experience, which is often a plus for an international coach. As assistant to Arrigo Sacchi at the 1994 World Cup in the USA, he already had tournament experience from a coaching perspective. Moreover, he possesses an extraordinary ability to adapt, having won league titles in all 5 major European leagues and numerous Champions League trophies. Brazil has not won the World Cup since 2002. Since then, all their campaigns ended in failure as soon as they faced a European team in the knockout stages. Ancelotti is seen as the one who can help overcome this barrier, as he knows top European football inside out. The first chapter promises to be fast-paced. Brazil needs to call up the national squad this week for the upcoming World Cup qualifiers, an away match in Ecuador, and a home game against Paraguay, 2 tough opponents and rivals for Brazil's World Cup spot. Ancelotti officially takes office only on May 26th and has to quickly get up to speed before the matches on June 5th and 10th. After that, he can prepare relatively calmly for the FIFA international windows later in the year. Carlo has a major advantage that will help him smoothly adapt to the new role, the expansion of the World Cup. Brazil is currently 4th in the South American standings, just 1 point ahead of 6th-placed Colombia, and tough matches lie ahead. In any previous qualifying campaign, campaign, Brazil would have to struggle hard to secure a place in the final tournament. This time, with more teams qualifying, missing the 2026 World Cup would require a catastrophic failure. South America has 6 direct spots and 1 playoff spot against an Oceania representative, so Carlo can already start thinking about the World Cup and preparing the team. Recently, Brazil has been a bad team with good players. Any other country would be thrilled to have the goalkeepers, central defenders, and wingers that Brazil has. In his restrained style, Ancelotti will try to conceal the weaknesses and emphasize the strengths. He only needs to raise an eyebrow, and he'll instantly earn authority. Ancelotti is pleased with his new appointment. He has always been attracted by the prospect of finishing his coaching career by leading the most famous and successful national team at the World Cup and trying to win one of the most coveted football trophies, which has eluded him as a player. Carlo's best World Cup achievement was the bronze medal at the 1990 home tournament. Carlo Ancelotti's appointment as head coach of the Brazilian national team is an event that can, without exaggeration, change the course of football history for several reasons. First, in the modern era, no major football nation has dared to appoint a foreign coach. If Ancelotti succeeds, he will likely change the culture of world football, and such experiments may become more common. Second, if he adds a World Cup trophy to his huge cabinet of titles, and it comes with Brazil after a 24-year gap, he will undoubtedly go down in history as the greatest football coach of all time. And if he fails, he will still dream of cigars, opera, and a well-deserved rest somewhere on the Apennine. Carlo will not return to club football. He has long and often said that Real Madrid would be his last club job. But consider the level of difficulty of the challenge that 65-year-old Carlo Ancelotti has set for himself before retiring from football. This fine line was beautifully outlined by ESPN journalist Gabriele Marcotti. Ancelotti has also said he wouldn't mind coaching a national team, and although his native Italy is the first to come to many people's minds, that job is already taken. And honestly, an Italian leading Italy to a World Cup title, that's already been done. A foreigner crossing the ocean to take on the complex ecosystem of Brazilian football and lead the green and gold to their record 6th title at the 2026 World Cup. That has never happened. And if there's one coach who could change that, it's Ancelotti. On that note, let's end this video as we await the unfolding of this exciting football story.